From government programs to major employers such as Walmart, one of the hottest employment groups today is our nation's veterans. After service to country, a number of new resources and opportunities exist for veterans who want to open a business or join a business. Joining me to talk business is Linda Nelson. She is the Arkansas District Director for the Small Business Administration. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about this big push to fund these programs and to find jobs for veterans. We see all kind of activity. It feels a little bit like it's mom and apple pie. Obviously, veterans, great service to our country.
Certainly.
What's really at the root of this push to help our veterans find employment?
Well, we want to give back to those who've given so much for us, but also because they have the skills, they have the ability. We need small businesses to drive our economy, and they have the leadership training. You know, I tell people you need to have a good plan to open your business, and you also need plan B. And most often plan B is going to be your best one. If you think about the military, they plan for every kind of contingency as much as they can, and yet the enemy doesn't read the playbook or always go by the rules. So they have to be prepared to adapt. And Darwin said it's not the strongest, it's those who can adapt to the changing situations. And I think our military training provides that. And those are the ones who are going to be successful in business. And I think they want to give back, and owning a business, hiring other people, gives you a great opportunity to do that and to solve problems that we may not even know we have.
So you've got leadership, you've got this service to others kind of component of veterans, you've got the preparation that it requires, and you also have discipline as well.
Absolutely.
Speak to that a little bit.
And that's what it takes. You have to focus on what it is you want to accomplish with your business. And yes, that may change, so you look at where we're going and plan for that. You know, they take risks, but the way they do it is so smart because they plan ahead, they train. One of the problems that they've had is translating what they did in the military into the job descriptions that we have. But if you think about the basics that you just enumerated, they have what it takes if that's what they want to do. And many of them, we have a company that we've worked with in Northwest Arkansas, veteran, and he tries to hire as many veterans as he can as well because he recognizes the skills and the abilities that they bring. You know, they don't just quit when it gets tough.
So it's more about the quality of the workforce, not necessarily that we have extremely high unemployment among veterans. I've got a couple of the latest unemployment rate numbers for veterans. It's only 6.2% in April. That's the national veterans unemployment rate. When you break that down by Gulf War era veterans, in the Gulf War era II veterans category, 7.5%, which is right about at the national average. For Gulf I war veterans, 5.5%, even lower still. World War II, Korean War, Vietnam era, 7%. Those are relatively low numbers.
They are. I'd be interested to know what those returning now are facing. I know too that there was a high suicide rate among returning veterans. You know, we've talked with a few that came home with problems. And I think that owning their own business would give them that sense of ability to take charge of their own destiny, as well as contributing back and give them the kind of satisfaction that they deserve, certainly.
Let's talk about some of the programs that exist for veterans to access. I want to start first with Boots to Business. This has been around for a little while, so tell me what it does. What's Boots to Business, and what kind of success are you seeing with that?
Well, it's just begun in Arkansas. They piloted it in Quantico and some other places. It's a joint effort. Syracuse University had established a curriculum that for those who do aspire to go into business would give them kind of a fast track, learning about business plans, financial stuff, all that, to kind of give them a real boot camp training to get out there and get started. And so our administrator negotiated with the Department of Defense to put this on several installations as those who are in the military are transitioning out back into the other world. And so wanted to give them an opportunity to kind of get that training and see if that really is what they want to do. And so we started working with the Little Rock Air Force Base at Jacksonville. We've done one of those and are getting ready to do another. So this will be an ongoing effort to give them the skills they need in this area to add to the skills and the training they already have.
Do you recall how many participated in the program,
No,
ballpark?
I don't. I think there were maybe 8 to 10 at the first one. But, you know, it's kind of the new thing, and you have to adapt, obviously.
Let's talk about another initiative that was just announced this week, the SBA Veteran Pledge initiative, commitment to collectively increase lending activity to veteran-owned businesses by 5% for the next 5 years. What I guess challenges do veterans face in terms of conventional loan funding? I guess because they've been out of in service, they don't have that credit record that they need.
Right, and some of them, we've worked with a number that who were injured, and during their recovery, sometimes their finances, you know, were just abolished, pretty much, their credit rating and things like that. And they may not have a background in speaking finance, you know, so part of the training that we do is to help them navigate those waters. But some of our lenders, we looked at the top lenders nationally and by each region, and Arkansas happens to be in Region 6. So they wanted at least 10 lenders from each region, plus 20 from the top big lenders nationally, to pledge to do everything they could to increase their lending to veterans. And these were lenders who already had a pretty good track record with veteran lending. So the goal is for them to do a little bit more outreach to try to reach those, work with them. And we had 3 headquartered in Arkansas who stepped up to the plate. And usually we're not at the top of those kind of things, but I was very proud of our banks. And I'm sure there would have been more.
And well, there may be after this interview.
Absolutely.
So, I think, too, another interesting group of statistics to share, too, with our viewers and listeners. Veterans make up a really large number of self-employed small business owners.
Right.
Nationally, 9% of all small businesses are veteran-owned. 2.45 million veteran-owned businesses in total. They employ more than 5 million workers. Do you have some goals at SBA for how much larger you want to see that pushed through some of these initiatives?
We don't have a specific number other than on the loans under the Pledge initiative, but we would all like to see it be much more, because I think they are perfectly suited to do this, many of them. And it's a shame that if the only thing that's standing in their way is access to capital, we should be able to make that happen.
All right, she's Linda Nelson. She's the Arkansas District Director for the U.S. Small Business Administration. You're coming up on your 10-year anniversary in that post, you know.
Yes, I am. Thank you for reminding me how much older I've gotten.
Thank you very much for being here. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, and thanks to our veterans.